And good morning. You're listening to Townsquare Sunday. I'm Jim Phillips, your host. The United Way of Greater New Bedford is involved in many worthy projects to help those in need. Earlier this month, the United Way kicked off its 5th season of the Mobile Market Program, which brings fresh, locally grown produce to low-income working families in the Greater New Bedford area. It's quite a program. Here to talk about it, the Mobile Market Program, that is Rhonda Sylvia. Rhonda, good to see you. And I understand good to see you again, because I'd forgotten we had talked on other occasions.
Yes,
other
Jim,
jobs,
we have.
Things like that.
Thank you for inviting me in today to speak on the mobile market.
All right. So what's the goal of Mobile Market?
The mobile market's goal is to provide fresh, locally grown produce at absolutely no charge to those families and individuals who fall through the cracks in our system. They're hardworking folks, and they have difficulty making ends meet, especially when it comes to purchasing the fresh fruits and vegetables. We all know how costly these items are in our local markets. They're also the folks who, because they work, can't frequent food pantries to expand what they offer their families food-wise.
All right. So how did the United Way get involved with this effort? I mean, there's a lot of things that people need in New Bedford. Why did you pick this one?
Well, our mission is clearly defined as meeting basic needs, health, education, and financial stability. So the mobile market falls in alignment with all of those areas, because we also have an educational component that goes along with the mobile market. We provide nutritional information on all the vegetables we provide each week. We offer community outreach packets to every participant of the mobile market, so they leave not only with food, but they leave with informational brochures on other programs in our area that may be useful to them.
And what neighborhoods and what communities does the program serve?
Okay. We started 5 years ago with 2 locations. A North End location, which is now at 1724 Acushnet Avenue, Bank 5, right across the street from the Walgreens. Bank 5 is our sponsor, and we are so thankful for their commitment to the mobile market. Not only do they sponsor us, but they provide the majority of our volunteers on a regular basis. Our South End location is at 160 County Street, the corner of County and Rivet, which is also Bank 5. And this year, we're excited to share that we're moving into Wareham. Wareham is part of our service area of the United Way, and we've been wanting to move into Wareham for a couple of years now. This year, with the success of the past year's mobile markets, we decided to take the leap, and we are now going to be in Wareham every other week. We're going to be at 24 Sandwich Road, which is a private parking lot, Faded Image Barbershop.
Okay.
So we're going to be with all the cool guys. You can not only come pick up your vegetables, but you can go in for a haircut as well. And see Big Tom and the guys. They'll take good care of you. And we're really looking forward to that. Something else I'd like to mention about the mobile market is that we have a wonderful relationship with South Coast Hospitals Group not only do we receive our produce from the Sharing the Harvest farm through the South Coast YMCA program in South Dartmouth, we also are able to receive through the South Coast Farmers Market program additional produce. And they have worked with us now for the third year to have the South Coast Wellness Van on site for most of our mobile market evenings.
So where does the food come from? You mentioned the Share the Harvest farm.
Yes.
Do they provide the vast majority of this food?
Yes, they do.
Okay. And that's, well, they really do it every week, don't they?
Yes, they do.
Okay, because it's there's an every other week schedule.
Yes.
And that arrangement was worked out between the United Way and one of its partners, which is the South Coast YMCA.
That is correct. And they have been very generous with us. In fact, I will quote our Hunger Commission coordinator, Mike Amato, who is at the farm on a regular basis picking up this produce. He has a saying, "We serve vegetables from seed to table," and it's all volunteer. Volunteers plant those seeds when they sign up to volunteer as workers at the Sharing the Harvest farm. Volunteers harvest them, pack them, wash them, help load the truck when Mike arrives there, and then volunteers serve that food through our mobile market. So we truly are all volunteer, seed to table.
All right. So you will see in Wareham, 24 Sandwich Road, the Faded Image Barbershop.
Yes.
The first delivery there really is July 16th. But
yes.
Then it will happen on July 30th. Every other week, folks. That's
yes.
what happens. 5:30 to 7:30. In Wareham, it's every other Tuesday. In New Bedford South and New Bedford North. First of all, New Bedford North, the Bank 5 at Acushnet Avenue, every other Tuesday. And Bank 5, 160 County Street is every other Thursday.
That is correct.
This program started on July 9th. And remember, every other week, you can go on the United Way website, I'm sure, to see the schedule if you're not sure.
UnitedWayofGNB.org. They can then link on to Mobile Market and get the full schedule. And we have disseminated applications throughout our service area. And we have many factory workers, many workers from the healthcare industries coming to us.
So this is designed really for the working poor,
yes,
low income.
Low income
folks.
I grew up in one of those families, Jim, and that's why this is not just my work. It's something that I'm passionate about because I grew up in a blue-collar family. My father worked 3 jobs. He was an incredibly hard worker. My mom was home with 5 children, and it was hard making ends meet. I am from the type of family who would have benefited from this program. So I identify with every person coming into that registration table.
You're listening to Townsquare Sunday. I'm Jim Phillips. My guest is Rhonda Sylvia of the United Way Mobile Market Program. So how is the food transported to these sites? Do you have a van? Does the farm have a van? How does it work?
We have our Hunger Commission truck. We love her. I refer to her as a girl. We love our Hunger Commission truck. She works very, very hard for us. And Mike Amato takes very good care of her. And he picks up the food and delivers it to our 3 sites every time we have a mobile market scheduled. The volunteers arrive. We all work together to set up. We all work together to take it down. If we have any food remaining, which isn't often, but if we do, Mike then puts that food back on the truck with the volunteers, and it's then delivered to the local food pantries. So nothing is wasted.
And people who receive this food, they have to be income qualified.
Yes.
And do you check on that on site? Do people
Yes.
have to register before they can receive anything?
Many of them come with their applications filled out because, as I said earlier, we've disseminated them throughout the community.
Yep.
I am at the registration table with a volunteer. We make certain that we always have someone who is bilingual, if not trilingual. My Portuguese gets better all the time. But we go over the application process. It's a very simple application. It takes about 2 to 3 minutes to fill out. And we ask people to bring some form of identification and proof of income. It is usually a work stub. Some people are very savvy and have it on their smartphone. Yeah. Some people work for private entities and bring a letter from their boss. And we make notation of that. We make notation of where they work, and that helps us with our outreach. And once they have been qualified, they're issued a mobile market card, and that way, week after week, when they come,
show the card.
It's a time saver. They show their card, they go right through the line. Mm-hmm. In fact, it was very touching at our first mobile market this past week. There were so many people who came to me, opened their wallets, and took out their mobile market card from last season.
Yep.
And they referred to me as the vegetable lady. And they said, vegetable lady, I have my card. I'm all set. And I had to remind them that we have to renew the application every year. But it was very touching to all of us at the United Way to really recognize the impact we've made in the lives of these folks.
And once they're registered, the food is free.
Free.
Yeah. And what's been the reaction? I can't imagine recipients are unhappy in any way. I mean, seems like they probably want it more days of the week.
I'm sure they would.
Yeah.
Our reaction.
Their reaction.
Their reaction has been very positive. Yeah. We receive a lot of hugs, a lot of thanks. They tell us, okay, I'll see you next time. They double check with us all the time to make sure we're going to be there. We have people showing up. We begin serving at 5:30. It takes us about 20 to 25 minutes to set everything up when we arrive. So we begin serving at 5:30, and we already have a crowd by the time we say, okay, you may step up to the table. And we serve until 7. That's usually our cutoff, because then we spend the next half hour dismantling everything. But if someone shows up at 7, they're treated with the same respect and dignity and care as the person who was first in line at 5:30.
The program, how many years old now? 5th season?
We're in our 5th season.
5th season. How many families do you think you've helped out?
Last year, we helped 225 families. Because I do most of the entry and take in most of those registrations, I would say that would equate to about 800 plus.
Over the years?
People. No, that's just last year.
Okay.
That's just last year. And in the previous seasons, I'd say we hovered around 200. Last year alone, we dispensed over 12,000 pounds of produce.
Where can people learn more about the mobile market program?
They can go to our website. unitedwayofgmb.org. They can find the information there. They can call the United Way at 508-994-9625 and ask to be connected to someone who can provide more information. Or they can look on social media. We're on Facebook. Mm-hmm. We're all over social media.
All right, very good. My guest has been Rhonda Sylvia, who heads up the mobile market program for the United Way of Greater New Bedford, now in its 5th season, and it is offering food at sites in New Bedford and Wareham. You can, as she said, you can check on the website for the exact schedule. And really, it's a wonderful program. You have to register, but really the benefits outweigh any small inconvenience that you might have with all of that.
What I'd like to add as we close, Jim, is that even if someone comes to the mobile market and applies and for whatever reason is found to be ineligible to participate in this particular program
because of income,
they are still given a bag of vegetables that evening and our outreach materials. So no one ever leaves empty-handed.
No one ever leaves with a frown on their face.
Not at all.
Well, Rhonda, thank you for coming in. And,
you're very welcome. It was a great pleasure.
All right. Townsquare Sunday is going to continue here in just a moment. Stay with us.